Al Heyman's pissed off that I got married. They all fucked me off. So Torrance, who's been with me my whole fight, right? He goes off to training camp with Hassim Rahman, who's fighting James Toney for the world title. So
I remember that.
So my whole training camp, I'm so used to, we've had a perfect training camp every time with Fel Torrance and Kenny Kroom. They've gone to camp with Hassim. And I've got to fight this big fight, my nemesis, Danny Williams, on a Frank Warren show. And my trainer's not here. And like, to be nice, Fel said to me, Audley, just share the camp with Hassim. I've asked him. He said we can do a shared camp. Because I have to train him. He's fighting for the world title. And even though you're like a world champion, you're not. So just share the camp. But my ego was so big and I was so wounded and I had to break down. I didn't know what the fuck to think. I'm like, Fel, I can't do that. I can't share a camp with nobody. I'm fucking all that. Lennox Lewis wouldn't share a camp. I mean, that's what I'm talking. I'm not a world champion yet. Do you understand? Like, pipe down. I should, like, my ego was still out of whack. So I wouldn't accept it. So I said, Fel, fuck you, and partied. And I ended up just training with Kelvin, my amateur trainer, in Vegas, running, doing lots of sprints. It was a horrible camp. So I went there with 5 weeks notice, not prepared. My wife is pregnant. I've got the nervous breakdown. I'm having anxiety attacks, panic. Everything was going wrong. I should have just pulled out. But I said, you know what? Spiritually, I've been an arsehole because I've tried to be like Tony Montana and like being really like rough and that. So I said, let me just take the punishment. Whatever's happening, I'm just going to take it. It was that kind of mentality. And I went there and sucked eggs and ended up getting, blown out. And then afterwards, like I said, I fought Dominic Gwynn. And again, Fel wasn't in my corner because James Toney and Hassim Rahman, they fought to a draw and they ordered an immediate rematch. So they had to fight again. So Fel went off to camp again with Hassim. So I did get Kenny Kroom this time, but it wasn't. So the camp. So straight after losing to Danny, the first fight, I go to camp for Dominic Gwynn, who's a fucking prospect just like me, yeah. And we go to camp, and the camp should have been an easy camp. It should have been a camp where I can rebuild my confidence because my confidence has been shattered, yeah. But because I've got Kenny, who's not as experienced as I Fel, we brought in Mo Harris and Andrew Perlett, who were like two bloody like dangerous heavyweights, right? I needed really easy work for the first like 2 weeks, and then I could jump into like tougher work. But what happened was, so the first day of sparring, right? Yeah. My first day before I brought in these guys, Andrew Perlett and thing. I'm just gonna spar with a couple of amateurs in the gym just to kind of get my confidence back, right?
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis was in town, right? Also, Mr. David Hay and Adam Booth were in town, right? So, and I didn't tell David that I'm sparring that day because I didn't want kind of nobody to know, right?
Sure.
So I'm sparring with this guy, and I said, Lennox, come down and look at you. Going to be my first one. Who turns up that in the gym? Fucking only David Hay and fucking Adam Booth, like an Energizer bunny. I'm looking at David Hay. And it's like Lennox, like, I'll just spar. I'm like, Lennox, I don't want to spar with David right now because I'm just coming back. This is my first spar. I'm fine with these amateurs just to like build my confidence. And Lennox, like, I didn't want to like disappoint Lennox. So I said, okay, I'll spar with him. Right? So I'm looking over at David. David is like bouncing up around the ring. Like, I'm like, shit, I can see David is ready. And now this is my first spar after fucking losing to Danny, after getting destroyed in the press. So my confidence is shattered. I just need to slowly build up. David comes in there, just like, and like when he jumped on me in the fight, like punching me from pillar to post. And I can't really do anything but defend, just tuck up because his hand speed is so quick now from the amateur. Because when I used to beat on David, it was all about holding him with the jab, and then throwing my long shots, and he couldn't get past that, and then just keep him at long range and beat him up, or go inside. But now David is like, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. So David, like, I didn't get knocked down, but it was really like you can match 3-4 rounds. It must have been like, I want to ask Lennox when Lennox comes on. I want to ask, what did he think of that? Because everybody in the gym just saw David Hay, who's like a young prospect coming through, just punch holes in me. Right, so David left feeling like superstar, and Adam Booth, who's on it, they must have felt good because like, how we fucking went, fucking Audley's finished. So it helped. So that's after that. Then I went into camp with these two fucking dogs, who were like real fighters. I never ever got over that first spar with David, and the whole camp was the same way. I was just fighting for my life. So I got in shape, but mentally I never got there. So when I fought Dominic Gwynn, I lost on points, and I had a great 6th round. But other than that, I was still a shell. I was still, and I still hadn't seen a sports psychologist or anything. I was still trying to figure out on my own spiritually and everything else. So does that answer your question, buddy?
It does. It's a fascinating insight. And thanks very much for allowing me to ask those questions. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. You take care.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Do we have anybody else want to? Hey, Adam Booth, why don't you come on, Adam? Come on and talk, Adam, because Adam Booth was David Hayes' like manager, confident, everything. They're split now, but Adam Booth has had lots of history, just like any Barry Jones is on there boxing. Like I wanted to ask the reason why I want boxing people to come in because I want to know what you guys thought. What you guys thought when I capitulate like Danny Williams won. Like, what did you lot really think? What was going on with me? Like, Danny Williams won, then I got knocked out by Michael Sprott. I want to know with the boxing people, like, what was you thinking when you saw me like losing the plot? Then I lost to Martin Rogan. Like, did you lot just think I'm a muppet or like? Because you saw how I was looking before. Like when I fought Michelle Sissia, that was like top quality. Even when I fought Thomas Bonin, that was like top fucking quality. So I want to know what you guys were thinking. We have a boxing person on here, EG Boxing Live and Soul Astro. So let's let EG Boxing Live come on. Let's see what EG Boxing is about. EG Boxing, what's cracking?
That's what it looked like.
EG, so what's your name, bud?
EJ Boxing Live, yeah, Northwest London representing, bro. What's going on, man?
What Northwest where?
You used to be from Kingsbury. I used to be from Graham Park, but now I'm in Brent Cross.
No. I started off in Harlesden, blood. Northwest 10.
Oh, you started in Harlesden? Okay, all right, cool. My bad. Nah, I'm in Graham Park, bro. Graham Park.
Okay, I know Graham Park. I had a gal from Graham Park. They were all right. Graham Park was all right.
Yeah.
So I started in Stonebridge, then I went to St. Raph's Estate. Then I went to the country. You get me? But I was so listen, blood. So what's your name though?
Yeah, my real name or that's my YouTube name?
Yeah,
but I go by my I already put my real name out there. But like I invited you to my event the other day, but it's cool though, isn't it? My name is Errol.
What event?
Errol Jarrett. So EJ short for Errol Jarrett.
Errol Jarrett. Respect. Pick up yourself. So Errol. Yeah. So you're a boxing man, yeah. You're in the boxing thing. So
coach.
Obviously,
yeah.
So you know, street is street, innit? So the first fight with Danny Williams, because I don't know if you remember. Did you watch the first fight?
Bro, I watched. Bro, me and my granddad watched all your fights, bro. We watched them together. We sat down and watched all your fights.
Okay. So leading up to that fight. So when I fought like Richella Sissia, when I fought Thomas Bonin, you know, they were talking about me as the next big thing, and I looked like the next big thing. The way I was finishing man off, it was like nasty. Yeah. So when I fight now, when I leave the country now, and even I had those two fights in America with Robert Davis and Robert Wiggins, I still look like the guy, yeah. And they're all hyping me like I'm the next guy. So when I come back and I fight Danny Williams 1, right, on Frank Warren's anniversary show, and I go in there and box like a pussy-hole, basically, right, for 9 rounds, I'm like, I had a nervous breakdown, blood, like telling the story, which I've told now publicly. In 2004. With the BBC deal, I was being bribed and blackmailed by the BBC from 2003. If you watched all my fights, you remember what happened with the Matthew Ellis fight 11. Do you remember what happened in fight 11?
I remember they had to pay. He asked for a lot of money last minute. Is that the one, right?
No, you don't remember it, blood. Don't lie, EJ. Don't lie. Just
that's a different. That was your first fight. No, all I know is I don't remember that. I don't remember that one. All I remember is they're going into that fight.
Well, let me tell you, my 11th fight, I fought Matthew Ellis. Live on BBC One, and Herbie Hyde was there, and they were trying to get me to fight Herbie, which I didn't mind fighting. I just didn't want to fight for Mick Hennessy. Mick Hennessy has to fight for me. That was a fight with the BBC. So anyway, there was a big riot at my fight ringside. Horrible riot.
Oh really?
Live on BBC One. So after that, the BBC are like, look, you fucking guys are unprofessional.
Oh.
You lot are fucking writing, and this is live on BBC. The trustees don't like. Are you crazy that you're writing? But I said to them, and I still got the letter, I think, somewhere. I said to them, look, don't invite Herbie to the fight. He's too hot-headed. Your call is too small. Don't invite him. Because if you invite him, he's going to kick off. So I've sent him a letter. And so it's not going to be on me if it goes wrong. So when it went wrong now, they all put it on me. They didn't take no responsibility. I had the letter and everything. They're like, nah, it's your fault. So the BBC came after me and they said, look, you're too unprofessional. We think you're going to be a world champion. You're going to be a great. You're going to be worth 100 million. Like, could you imagine if it was social media back then and me? I would be a multi-million. I would be a billionaire, the first billionaire, because I was I was that big. Like, I was big. I was a global fucking boxing star, and I hadn't even won a world title. It was sick, blood. So, so after that riot, right in 2003, the BBC, like Peter Salmon, he was the head of BBC Sport. That's the people I'm sitting with. So they start fighting with me now, and they say, "Look, Audley, you got to give up your company. You got to give up your company." And I had 22 staff. I said, "Blood, this is racism, right?" I said, "My parents are Jamaican, right? They come from slavery and all that. They don't fold. We can't quit. They're like, here, but we'll make you rich. Here's all this money. You'll be a BBC presenter for your life. I'm like, but I can't do it. I can't. So from May 2000 in 2003 all the way till the last fight on there in the June of 2004, behind the scenes we were like fighting like dogs, like them trying to get me to give them my company, sign with you. And I was like, but that's fucking racist. You want me to sign with these white promoters, Mick Hennessy and Dennis Hobson, who can't carry my kit bag? No disrespect. I'm promoting in Wembley Arena. They promoting like leisure centers. How are they going to take me and put me in there? Or how am I going to let them just walk into my multi-million-dollar business and let them take it over? How can I do that? So they said, well, if you don't do that, we're going to destroy you. And that's what they did.
Oh
so
my
in
gosh.
2000 and when I lost to Thomas Bonnin, that week of that fight, I had a full-on nervous breakdown. Should have been locked up in hospital, like how Frank Bruno was sectioned off. I should have been sectioned. But I somehow found a way to get into the ring. And I got into the ring and I fought Thomas Bonnin. And I looked good doing it. I was like mean and I'm coming soon, Adam, right? I'm coming. And I was mean and everything else. But I was Audley Harrison right there with that nervous breakdown. The world championship was gone. Because that guy who was the ghetto boy, like Tony Montana, he was gone. I was a person, but somehow I kept it together just to beat Thomas Bonnin. Because if I didn't do it, I'd have lost like £1 million or whatever I'd have lost. I couldn't afford to lose that. So that's the only thing that got me into the ring. Right? So once I got into that ring and I beat Thomas Bonnin, I jumped on a plane, blood, and I got out of the country. Because if I didn't get out of the country, I'd have either shot somebody in the BBC or I'd have been locked up in a mad home. I was a madman. They fucking my spirit. They broke my soul. They broke me to the strongest guy in the fucking world in boxing became the weakest guy. But
that's what I thought, because you see the thing is, like you just told me the inside now.
Yeah.
About Dally Williams. From the outside, you was getting abused. Barry McGuigan was saying about Fraudley, and every minute on the papers they were constantly saying. I was like, why do they keep saying these sort of things? Yeah. Then the other day he won the gold medal. Do you know how hard it is to win a gold medal? And obviously, like you came down. This is because I remember the first fight you came down with Miss Elliott, where you're free con and you come down and Colin McMillan was with you. Obviously, we did our social media. So when you watch it on TV and everything like that, it looks good. You go, I'm gonna be a world champion. The interviews keep coming at you. Where you gonna fight, guy? It's gonna happen. Blah, it's gonna happen. This, that, the other. We saw your fights in America and everything like that. And then when the Danny Williams one going into that fight, there was something getting wrong there. I couldn't really picture. Then all of a sudden I know you was working with Frank Warren. I was like, whoa, boy, you're working with Frank Warren. You're just on the BBC, but you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Obviously now you're telling a story from your perspective, and I'm glad you are, because in the day, I'm amateur coach. I've been around the media and I've been around these things there. I like the idea you're telling people about what has actually happened, of how you actually got treated, because you're one of the, like you said, without you, the amateur boxing doesn't thrive. There's no Amir Khan. There's none of these other guys over there. And everything you said about how you was treated, I believe everything you say. Like, God, I'm telling you, because when you was doing your thing, I met you one time in the Cork's Wine Bar. I think this is before you went out. You used to be there. You was I bet you I was there before you went out to Sydney. And you saying you made your mind up about what you was gonna do, and it was great. But what the media at that time, and remember, social media is different because they control the media, and a lot of Frank Warren, the newspapers, whatever they decide, if they want to destroy you, they can destroy you like that. And then you have to get the brunt every minute. Fraudy this, fraudy that, this, that, the other. He ain't doing this. He's this, is that. And then when you lost, it was like, oh no. But then when you come back now, you brought them up. Hey. You brought them up good, The rematch, Danny Williams, the inside work was beautiful. And then
EJ, the rematch was street blood. The rematch was the only reason why the rematch happened like how it happened, because it was my pride. I'm a fucking Jamaican, and Danny's a Jamaican. He's from Brixton. I'm from South London. So to get the first fight, this is like redemption. I can't live with myself if I don't get redemption. And you remember, I was meant to be fighting Danny. I was meant to be fighting Matt Skelton. Matt Skelton out, and I get Danny rematch. It was like the universe gave me what I wanted, and I made sure I destroyed it. I almost killed Danny in there in that rematch. Because
I know. You did.
And on the street,